Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodaux, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weisheidt, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And we are always glad to welcome in and get updates from everything happening down in Lafourche Parish as we welcome in the superintendent, Jared Martin. Jared, thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. So it's always a good time when we get some performance scores, but really when we get the good news that we've gotten here recently. So first and foremost, congratulations to everybody on the staff there and all the kids and all the teachers and all the hard work that went into this. Tell us about some of these results that we found.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we're excited for all of our schools. We had 23 of our 28 schools that were recognized as top gains honorees, and those were schools that improved this year over last year. As you can see the graphic right there. So it's just a testament to all the hard work our teachers are doing. This community is still on the heels of a devastating storm that impacted kids, that impacted our employees, that impacted the entire community. So to see these results, it's a testament to the resiliency of the community, but very specifically our teachers, the parents and students who carried the heaviest load with all of this. So really exciting stuff, and can't say enough about how proud I am of our teachers.
Yeah, we've also had some opportunity honorees as well, 5 different schools that have been able to get that. Bayou Buff Elementary, Lockport Upper Elementary, 6th Ward Middle, South Lafourche High School, and St. Charles Elementary. Really interesting of these Lafourche Parish schools that have gotten that as well.
Yeah, and this specific award actually speaks to work being done with special needs students and those that come from economically disadvantaged backgrounds. So it's schools that are scoring in the 90th percentile for those subgroups that historically have struggled in our schools. So those specific schools are being recognized by the state for work with those most difficult to teach students sometimes. And again, just super proud of the work our teachers are doing.
Yeah, and again, a very difficult population, but again, to make improvements in that area, really, really exciting. And again, so much hard work that goes into that.
Yeah, and teaching these days is just tremendously difficult.
Yeah, well, but it starts with great leadership too, and I know that all of them would say the same thing, and so we're always very thankful and appreciative for the years of hard work that you've put in your team to really develop that great communication with the teachers and being able to bring out the best in them, which is pretty obvious with a lot of these results that we have had. Let's talk about that letter grade growth we've also had as well.
Yeah, so the state gives letter grades to schools, A, B, C, D, F, and we actually had 9 schools whose school performance score increased so much that they now have a higher letter grade. And those are the schools right there from Thibodaux Middle, South LaRose, Raceland Upper, Raceland Middle, Raceland Lower, North LaRose, Lockport Middle, Bayou Upper, and Bayou Elementary, right? So it's the lower and the upper and Bayou that all increased their letter grade. Just a tremendous accomplishment. Again, with all of the challenges being thrown at this community, it's really nothing short of a miracle considering where we've been and looking at where we are. We're just very, very proud.
Yeah, it really echoes the resilience of our educational system overall because of so many different challenges and being moved and not being in schools, and it just has not impacted at all the education. In fact, there's improvements in that education and performance.
Yeah, and what we're seeing is that while the student data in some small pockets is still not yet to pre-IDA or COVID, specifically at our high schools, those teachers that are teaching the kids in the high schools are actually showing more growth than anywhere across the state. So even in areas that are not performing as high as they were 5 years ago. Their growth in terms of where the students walk into the class and how they leave the class is unparalleled.
Fantastic. Really, really excited. There was one other area, the A-rated schools. And so another distinction, and 10 of those. Let's talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, it's the highest rating that a school can achieve from the Department of Education. We've got 28 schools, so this represents greater than a third of all of our schools are now A-rated schools by the Louisiana Department of Education. And again, I'll read them out. I know that the audience can see it, but very, very proud. Bayou Bluff Elementary, Central Lafourche High School, Chack Bay Elementary, Lockport Lower, Lockport Middle, Lockport Upper, North LaRose, Sixth Ward, South Lafourche High School, and St. Charles Elementary School. And so, to have 10 schools get that A rating is very special.
Yeah, I got to tell you, just all of the accolades here, it goes back to, again, can't mention it enough. You mentioned the word miraculous, and it is miraculous that we've been able to, you and your team have been able to really make and create these improvements. And then for these schools, the letter grade growth and the A-rated schools, really huge improvements and upgrades.
Yeah, and you said it earlier. I do attribute this to leadership. However, not my own. We've got tremendous principals on the ground that are able to work directly with, inspire our teachers, work with our students to provide the incentives and the support that they need to be successful. So it really begins and ends with building level principals. They are the driving force behind all of this, and then the teachers, of course, the work that they're doing with the students just brings it all together.
Yeah, and bringing it all together is great teamwork, and that's got to be one of those things. And so I'm glad you mentioned them as well. There's everybody at the schools, and each of the different schools, the principals, all of the support staff, the aides and the paraprofessionals, all of those people that really make a difference for the teamwork, that really makes a difference for some really outstanding improvement. So congratulations once again, and thank you for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment, but don't go anywhere. A lot more Bayou time when we continue.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.